Yeah, the self-certification is an optional program for Pennsylvania restaurants who want to reassure their employees and their patrons that they're doing everything that they can to protect them against COVID and taking all the appropriate precautions and following the state's guidance with COVID-19. It does not impose, importantly, it does not impose any additional obligations on the restaurants. The program is free. We can work with each of the restaurants, but important that they can enroll free, and it's voluntary. Participating restaurants receive, a listing of the searchable public open and certified PA business directory, permission to increase capacity from 25% to 50%, the free open and certified Pennsylvania signs to publicly present their both compliance, but also they're participating in the self-certification, and that's helpful for all of the businesses to sort of publicly present that, and we can help you with making that possible. Yeah, the easiest thing to do is to go to the pa.gov under Certify My Restaurant, and that's the easiest way. Read the full requirements there. With that, you're agreeing to all of the requirements. You need to provide the maximum indoor occupancy based on the fire code, and just make sure and confirm that your information is correct. Yeah, there's no additional inspection if you self-certify. This will go into effect October 5th of 2020. As our inspectors, come to the restaurant, they're going to be checking to, again, if you've certified that you're adhering to the 50% occupancy capacity. If you choose not to participate and stay at the 25% occupancy level, that's fine. But we're not going to inspect you more because you're participating, or less if you aren't. We're going to look for compliance.
This is something in terms of self-certification, the governor announced a couple of weeks ago for restaurants to have the ability to self-certify. And by self-certifying, they would be able to increase their capacity from 25% to 50%, something that the Restaurant Lodging Association has been asking about. So from our perspective, what we're requiring is a certification process. And by certifying that your restaurant is taking the appropriate precautions, having a safe environment for your workers, for your employees, and then also for your patrons, that allows you the ability then to increase the capacity from 25% to 50%. That we're trying to instill confidence in the public, in the patrons of the restaurants and the employees of the restaurants, and actually even the owners of the restaurants. Confidence that they have a safe environment, and by doing that, we think that will help them with increased revenues and increased traffic into the restaurants. There are no penalties. There's no liability for self-certifying. The self-certifying process is really, again, as I mentioned, to instill confidence in the employees of the facility, of the restaurant, and then also the patrons of the restaurant. That's really the idea behind this. There's a lot of misinformation out there in the public and social media, and it's simply not true. The idea here is that there's what all of the restaurants were asking to do this. We're asking them to do this again to make sure that people are confident in when they go to those restaurants and they're taking the proper procedures. We will then put all the restaurants that self-certify on a website that people can go to see if a restaurant does self-certify, essentially saying that they're going to make sure that they have a safe environment, safe working environment, and safe environment for their patrons. That's the idea behind this. The idea is not to have any additional penalties for the restaurants, any type of liability for the restaurants. It is simply for the ability for the restaurants to show the public that they are doing the right thing. They're taking the proper procedures to make sure that they have a safe environment for their patrons. So if you go to pa.gov/COVID and get on the website, it literally takes about 15 minutes inputting some basic information about what you're doing to keep the restaurant safe. There are a number of questions that'll be asked there. And once that's done, we will include you, once it's submitted, we will include the restaurant on a listing on our website of restaurants that have self-certified, thereby being able to increase their capacity from 25% to 50%, essentially doubling their capacity to 50%. And again, the big takeaway here is that we're trying to show confidence to people that want to go to these restaurants and show that the restaurant management, ownership are taking the proper procedures to make sure that they have a safe environment.